My boss had always been terrifying in the calmest way possible. No yelling. No drama. Just a quiet confidence that made people sit straighter when she walked into the room. Her name was Claire Anderson, CEO of Anderson Tech Solutions, 42 floors above the city, glass walls, skyline views, and a reputation that made investors nervous and competitors afraid. And me? I was just Ethan Miller, her executive assistant. 27. Good at schedules, contracts, and pretending I didn't notice how lonely she looked when the office lights went out. That night, I was the last one leaving. Or at least I thought I was. Ethan, her voice called from behind me. I turned to see her standing in her office doorway. No blazer. No heels. Just a soft sweater and tired eyes. "Do you have a minute?" she asked. Something in her tone told me this wasn't about work. Her office felt different at night, less powerful, more personal. City lights reflected off the windows, painting her face in gold and blue. She didn't sit behind her desk. She sat on the couch. "Close the door," she said quietly. I did. She took a breath. A long one. "Ethan. I'm going to ask you something completely inappropriate." My heart thudded. "I understand if you say no." She looked straight at me. "I need you to pretend to be my husband. For 1 year." The room went silent. I laughed, once. Nervously. "This is a joke, right?" She didn't smile. "My board thinks I'm unstable," she said. "They think I'm emotionally distracted. Apparently, being single at my age is a liability." I swallowed. "They want a family image. Dinners. Events. Charity galas. The whole picture." I nodded slowly. "And, you picked me because..." "Because I trust you," she said. "Because you're discreet. And because you'd never use this against me." Then she added softly, "And because I don't want a stranger." That part hit harder than it should have. My mouth moved before my brain caught up. "Do we have to sleep in the same bed?" She froze. Then, unexpectedly, she laughed. A real laugh. "No," she said quickly. "Absolutely not. Unless you want to." My ears burned. "I mean, I didn't, I just..." She held up a hand, still smiling. "Relax. This is a contract, not a fantasy." She stood and walked closer. "We'd live together. Appear married. No intimacy required." Her eyes softened. "But I won't lie to you," she said. "It won't be easy." I should have said no. Any sane person would have. But then she said something that changed everything. "I'm tired of coming home to an empty place," she admitted. "And pretending I don't care." For the first time, she wasn't my boss. She was just a woman asking for help. "I'll pay you," she added. Generously. I shook my head. "That's not why I'd do it." She searched my face. "Then why?" "Because I already cared." "I'll do it," I said. Her shoulders dropped in relief. 1 year, she said. Then we walk away. Clean. I nodded. Neither of us realized how impossible that promise would become. Her penthouse was nothing like my apartment. Too quiet. Too perfect. She showed me the guest room. "This will be yours," she said. I hesitated. "And, if someone asks why we don't share?" She smirked. "Married people don't owe explanations." That night, lying in a bed that wasn't mine, I stared at the ceiling. I could hear her moving around. Brushing her teeth. Turning off lights. Just one wall between us. Fake husband. Real feelings already forming. The next morning, she slid a ring box across the breakfast table. "Put it on," she said. I opened it. Simple. Elegant. Heavy. "Ready, husband," she teased. I slipped it on. And just like that, my life changed. The first rule of pretending to be married was simple. Don't hesitate. Claire told me that while standing in front of her floor-to-ceiling mirror the next morning, adjusting the collar of my suit like she'd done it 1,000 times before. "If anyone senses doubt," she said, smoothing her own dress, "they'll smell blood." I nodded, trying not to stare at her reflection. She wasn't dressed like my boss today. She was dressed like my wife. Elegant navy dress. Hair loose over one shoulder. No sharp edges, just warmth, confidence, and something dangerously inviting. "You ready?" she asked. I swallowed. "As I'll ever be." She smiled, then did something that caught me completely off guard. She slipped her arm through mine. The driver didn't even blink. "Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. Anderson." Claire squeezed my arm, light, natural. "Good morning," she replied. I forced my voice steady. "Morning." The city slid past the windows, but my mind was somewhere else entirely. Her perfume was subtle. Clean. Comforting. This was supposed to be fake. So why did it already feel intimate? "You okay?" she whispered. "Yeah, I lied. Just processing." She leaned closer. "Remember, confidence." The car stopped in front of a grand hotel downtown. Charity gala. Board members. Press. The deep end. The moment we stepped inside, eyes turned. Some curious. Some calculating. Claire's hand slid into mine, firm this time. I looked at her. She gave me a tiny nod. "Trust me." "Claire," a man called out. Late 50s. Expensive suit. Board member, I recognized him from meetings. "And you must be the husband," he said, smiling too sharply. I stepped forward before Claire could speak. "Ethan Anderson," I said, extending my hand. "Nice to finally meet you." The name felt strange on my tongue. He raised an eyebrow. "Finally?" I smiled easily. Claire likes to keep work and family separate. Claire laughed softly. "You know me too well." The man chuckled, satisfied. One down. As the night went on, the lies stacked up. Where we met. How long we'd been together. Why no kids yet. "Focused on building the company first," Claire said smoothly. I added, "and enjoying each other." Her fingers tightened around mine. That wasn't in the script. At one point, a woman, tall, confident, too interested, stepped a little too close to me. "So you're the mystery husband," she said. "Claire never mentioned you." Claire's smile didn't reach her eyes. "That's because I don't share what's mine," she said calmly. The word mine sent something sharp through my chest. The woman laughed awkwardly and backed off. Claire didn't let go of my hand. Later, the music shifted. Slow. Intimate. Claire turned to me. "We should dance." I hesitated. "Do we have to?" "Yes," she said softly. "They're watching." She led me onto the floor. Her hand rested on my shoulder. Mine settled at her waist, too naturally. We moved in sync, bodies close, breaths matching. For a moment, the room disappeared. "This feels dangerous," I murmured. She looked up at me. "Why?" "Because it doesn't feel fake." Her expression flickered, something vulnerable, quickly hidden. "Careful, Ethan," she said quietly. "We're pretending." But her grip didn't loosen. It happened near the end of the night. A camera flash. A reporter calling out, "Mrs. Anderson, one photo with your husband?" Claire leaned in before I could react. Her lips brushed my cheek. Soft. Warm. The kind of touch that lingered long after it ended. The room applauded. The lie was complete. The car was silent. Too silent. "You handled that well," she said finally. "So did you." She hesitated. "I didn't plan the kiss." "I know." Another pause. "Did it bother you?" I met her eyes. "No," I said honestly. "Did it bother you?" She looked away, out the window. "I don't know," she admitted. Back at the penthouse, she kicked off her heels and sighed. "I hate these events," she said. "But tonight wasn't terrible." She turned to me. "Thank you." "For what?" "For making it feel real." Our eyes locked. The space between us felt suddenly fragile. "I should go to my room," I said. "Yes," she agreed quickly. But neither of us moved. Finally, she spoke. "Good night, husband." "Good night," I replied. The door closed between us. But something had already crossed the line. Living with Claire was nothing like I expected. There were no awkward silences in the mornings. No cold professionalism. Instead, there were quiet routines that slowly blurred the line between pretend and real. She liked her coffee black. Strong. No sugar. I liked mine with cream. By the third morning, she was making both without asking. The penthouse didn't feel like a showroom anymore. It felt lived in. My jacket hung beside hers. My shoes lined up next to her heels. My toothbrush sat in her bathroom, because she'd insisted. "It looks weird if guests don't see signs of a husband," she'd said. Logical. Dangerous logic. One evening, I walked into the kitchen to find her barefoot, hair tied up, wearing one of my old college hoodies. I stopped cold. She noticed my stare. "What?" "That's mine." She smirked. "It's ours now. Married, remember?" My heart did something stupid. The first time I felt it, I hated myself for it. We were hosting dinner, 2 board members and their wives. One of them, a polished guy named Richard, wouldn't stop complimenting Claire. Her leadership. Her intelligence. Her presence. She handled it professionally, but I saw it, the way she subtly leaned closer to me. I put my arm around her chair. "Claire works too hard," I said. "I keep telling her to rest." She glanced up at me, surprised. Then she smiled. "I listen to him," she said. "Sometimes." Richard's smile tightened. Later that night, after everyone left, Claire leaned against the counter and laughed. "You were territorial." I was playing my role. She tilted her head. "Didn't know that was part of the contract." Neither did I. It happened during a storm. Power flickered. Rain hammered the windows. She knocked on my door. "Ethan?" I opened it to find her wrapped in a blanket. "The guest room window's leaking," she said. "Maintenance can't come until morning." I nodded. "You can take my room." She hesitated. "There's only one bed in there." The question hung between us again, heavier this time. "We can just sleep," she added quickly. "No expectations." I stepped aside. "Come in." We lay on opposite sides, backs to each other. Silence. Then thunder cracked. She flinched. Without thinking, I turned, and she did too. Now we were facing each other. Close. Too close. "You're not afraid of storms," I said softly. "No," she admitted. "I'm afraid of being alone during them." Her honesty disarmed me. "You're not alone," I said. She studied my face. "Ethan, this is getting complicated." I nodded. "Yeah. But I don't want you to pull away," she whispered. "Not yet." I didn't touch her. But I didn't move away either. Eventually, she fell asleep. Her hand rested near mine. I stayed awake all night. The first time I felt it, I hated myself for it. We were hosting dinner, 2 board members and their wives. One of them, a polished guy named Richard, wouldn't stop complimenting Claire. Her leadership. Her intelligence. Her presence. She handled it professionally, but I saw it, the way she subtly leaned closer to me. I put my arm around her chair. "Claire works too hard," I said. "I keep telling her to rest." She glanced up at me, surprised. Then she smiled. "I listen to him," she said. "Sometimes." Richard's smile tightened. Later that night, after everyone left, Claire leaned against the counter and laughed. "You were territorial." I was playing my role. She tilted her head. "Didn't know that was part of the contract." Neither did I. It happened during a storm. Power flickered. Rain hammered the windows. She knocked on my door. "Ethan?" I opened it to find her wrapped in a blanket. "The guest room window's leaking," she said. "Maintenance can't come until morning." I nodded. "You can take my room." She hesitated. "There's only one bed in there." The question hung between us again, heavier this time. "We can just sleep," she added quickly. "No expectations." I stepped aside. "Come in." We lay on opposite sides, backs to each other. Silence. Then thunder cracked. She flinched. Without thinking, I turned, and she did too. Now we were facing each other. Close. Too close. "You're not afraid of storms," I said softly. "No," she admitted. "I'm afraid of being alone during them." Her honesty disarmed me. "You're not alone," I said. She studied my face. "Ethan, this is getting complicated." I nodded. "Yeah. But I don't want you to pull away," she whispered. "Not yet." I didn't touch her. But I didn't move away either. Eventually, she fell asleep. Her hand rested near mine. I stayed awake all night. She sank onto the couch, suddenly exhausted. "I've built my whole life on control," she admitted. "If this ends badly, I lose more than a relationship. I lose stability. Focus." I sat beside her, leaving space between us. "I don't want to be another risk you regret." She looked at me then, really looked. "You're not a risk," she said. "You're the only thing that's felt safe in years." That admission hit harder than any confession. The room was quiet except for the hum of the city below. "If we stop now," she said, "maybe we can still keep this clean." "And if we don't?" I asked. Her voice barely rose above a whisper. "Then one of us gets hurt." I thought about the nights we talked until 2 a.m. The way she smiled when she forgot to be guarded. How the word husband no longer felt fake. "I'd rather risk honesty," I said, "than keep lying." Her eyes filled, not with tears, but with something more dangerous. Hope. She stood, suddenly unsure. "I need air," she said. "I'm going to the balcony." I followed. The city stretched endlessly below us. She wrapped her arms around herself. "Ethan, if this were real, if there were no board, no contract." I stepped closer. "Then what?" She turned, inches away. "Then I'd ask you to stay," she said. "Not as an assistant. Not as a pretend husband." Her voice trembled. but as someone who chose me. Time slowed. I could see the answer in her eyes. But I didn't touch her. Not yet. Instead, I said the hardest thing I could. Then let's make a choice. Not tonight. Not under pressure. She frowned slightly. Tomorrow, I continued. We decide whether this ends as a contract, or starts as something real. She searched my face, then nodded. Tomorrow, she agreed. That night, neither of us slept. 2 rooms. 2 hearts racing toward the same truth. And for the first time since she asked me to pretend to be her husband. We were both afraid of what would happen if we stopped pretending. That night, neither of us slept. 2 rooms. 2 hearts racing toward the same truth. And for the first time since she asked me to pretend to be her husband. We were both afraid of what would happen if we stopped pretending. Morning came without answers. Only tension. Only truth waiting to be spoken. Claire stood by the window, sunlight outlining her like the city itself had chosen her side. For once, she wasn't dressed for power. No heels. No armor. Just a woman who hadn't slept. You said today we choose, she said quietly. I nodded. Yes. She turned to face me. And if I choose wrong? I stepped closer. Then it won't be pretending anymore. She exhaled slowly. I've spent my life being needed, she said. Respected. Feared. But never, chosen. Her eyes met mine. I don't want a husband because the board expects one. I want someone who stays even when it's inconvenient. My chest tightened. I'm not staying for the contract, I said. I'm staying because I want to. Silence stretched. Then she nodded once. Then we end the agreement, she said. My heart dropped, until she finished. And start something real. That afternoon, she called an emergency board meeting. I sat beside her, not behind her this time. When the questions came, she didn't flinch. Yes, she said calmly. Our marriage began as an arrangement. Gasps. But what you've seen is not an act, she continued. This is my life now. And I won't apologize for choosing happiness. One man leaned forward. You're risking the company. She smiled, strong, unshaken. No, she said. I'm finally leading it honestly. When it was over, the room was silent. Then one board member stood. Congratulations, she said. On both counts. That night, there was no question about the bed. No rules. No contract. Just choice. Claire stood in the doorway of my room. So, she said softly. Husband? I smiled. Yes? Come to our room. I followed. Not because I had to. Because I wanted to. The contract sat in a drawer, unsigned. Forgotten. The press called it a love story. The board called it stability. But in the quiet moments, in shared mornings and late-night talks, it was something simpler. It was home. One evening, standing on the same balcony where we almost stopped everything, Claire slipped her hand into mine. You know, she said, smiling, this year turned out nothing like I planned. I kissed her forehead. Best mistake we ever made. She leaned into me. And for the first time, we weren't pretending.